We've all seen those sci-fi movies where some super smart AI can see what's coming next. But what if I told you that's not just science fiction anymore? A new kind of AI is learning to reason in a way that is, well, it's getting shockingly close to how we think. Let's get into it. So to really put this thing through its paces, researchers gave it a pretty tricky real-world problem. A former US president had actually ordered this name change for the Gulf of Mexico. So the question was, would a major online atlas actually update its maps by the deadline?
Now, you'd probably expect an AI to just spit out a yes or a no, right? Like a calculator. But this AI is totally different. It acts more like a detective, carefully collecting clues, weighing evidence, and building a case. And how it cracked this case, well, that's the real story here.
So what is it about this detective approach that's so special? To really get it, we first have to talk about a huge problem that plagues almost every AI out there today. Let's call it the crystal ball problem. See, here's the weird thing. Large language models, they've basically consumed the entire internet. They have access to almost all of human knowledge. But ask them to predict something and they just fall apart. They get sidetracked by irrelevant details, they miss obvious connections, or they make these wild predictions with way, way too much confidence. So how do you fix a problem like that? Well, a new system called BLF might just have the answer. BLF stands for Bayesian Linguistic Forecaster. And the word to focus on here is agentic. This isn't just some big passive database full of facts. No, it's an active system that actually thinks for itself. The secret sauce isn't that it knows more stuff, it's that it has a much, much smarter way of reasoning through the stuff it already knows. Okay, so how does an AI think for itself? Let's pop the hood and see what's going on. The whole process is built around three really clever ideas. First, it acts like a detective with a super organized notebook. Second, it's not just one detective, it's a whole panel of experts. And third, it actually learns from its past mistakes. Let's break each one down. So picture a detective's office. Most AIs are like a desk just buried in a messy pile of clues, articles, and data. It's pure chaos. BLF, on the other hand, keeps this neat, tidy notebook. It's constantly updating its theories, summarizing the evidence, and writing down new questions it needs to answer. Let's go back to our Gulf of America case. While digging around, the AI finds this one little clue that almost anyone else would miss. The website, World Atlas, doesn't use live dynamic maps like Google. It uses its own static images. And this is where it all clicks. The AI jots this down in its notebook. Hey, static sites like this can take 1 to 3 years to update. And just like that, boom, the whole case shifts. The probability of the name changing on time plummets to just 28%. The AI is literally showing its work step by step, which is a total game changer. But hey, even the smartest detective can get tunnel vision or follow a bad lead, right? That's why BLF doesn't just rely on one line of inquiry. It actually runs the entire investigation multiple times from scratch, basically creating a panel of expert detectives to weigh in. And what you're seeing here is so cool. This chart shows 5 of those detectives working the case. They all start at the same place, a 50-50 toss-up. But as each one finds different clues in a different order, their beliefs start to diverge. You see one becoming a real skeptic, while another gets more confident. By averaging all these different perspectives, BLF gets a final answer that's way more balanced and robust. And finally, the third secret weapon is that it learns from experience. You can think of this as its built-in reality check. The system looks back at its own track record, all the times it's been right and wrong in the past, and it adjusts its confidence on new predictions. It's like a forecaster who gets a little bit smarter and a little more humble with every single call they make. So you've got the detective's notebook, the panel of experts, and the reality check. It all sounds great on paper, but does it actually work? Well, researchers pitted BLF against the best of the best, and the results were pretty incredible. I mean, the numbers really speak for themselves here. This table lays it all out. BLF is at the top of the leaderboard, clearly outperforming other powerful AI models, and even beating the collective wisdom of a human crowd. It's not even close, really, a decisive win. But this right here? This is the number that really matters. When you adjust the score for how difficult the questions were, BLF hits 71.0. Why is that such a big deal? Because it's the first and only AI system to match the median score of elite human super forecasters. It is officially playing in the major leagues now.
So, what is it that makes BLF so good? What's the secret ingredient? Is it just that it can search the web? Is it the reasoning process? To figure it out, the researchers basically did an autopsy. They started taking the AI apart, piece by piece, to see what would happen. First, they took away its access to web search. And yeah, as you'd expect, its performance tanked. No surprise there. But then they did something fascinating. They took away its detective's notebook, that organized step-by-step thinking process, and its performance dropped almost as much. Just think about that. How it thinks is nearly as important as its access to all the information in the world.
And that really brings us to the big picture here, because this isn't just about building a better fortune teller. This is about a massive shift in how we approach building artificial intelligence itself. So, what's the big takeaway? First, it's that the future of AI isn't just about cramming it with more data. It's about teaching it how to think. Second, this whole process makes the AI way more transparent. We can literally open up its notebook and follow its train of thought. And that leads to the most important point of all. An AI that reasons better is an AI we can actually rely on, an AI we can trust. We started this by asking if an AI could predict the future, but maybe that's not the right question anymore. Maybe the real question is, if we can teach an AI to reason this well, what incredible problems will it help us solve next?